So we have learned something about conservation laws, and now let us see some more details. Conservation laws in physics. Again, I am reminding you that this chapter is a story like chapter, that's why we have to read completely from next chapter onwards, from second, third and so on. That means in other chapters we will do the calculation and other things, so that would be far more interesting, but this chapter is a storyline, so we have to read it completely. Conservation of energy. So what are the conservation? Energy, momentum, angular momentum and charge conservation etc. are considered to be fundamental laws in physics. So these four conservation laws, and there are etc. That means there are other conservations, but we have seen conservation of energy, momentum, angular momentum and charge etc. are considered to be the fundamental laws. So these are fundamental laws in physics. At this moment there are many such conservation laws. So there are many conservation laws apart from above four. So these are four conservation laws: energy, momentum, angular momentum and charge. So there are many other conservation laws. There are others which mostly deal with quantities which have been introduced in nuclear and particle physics. So other conservation laws are there, but they deal with nuclear and particle physics, which you won't study in class 11th and 12th in great detail. You won't need that. Some of the conserved quantities are called spin, baryon, number, strangeness, hypercharge etc. So what are other conservation? Spin conservation, baryon number conservation, strangeness conservation, hypercharge conservation etc. But you need not worry about them. You don't need these conservation. You must be worried about only these conservations: energy, momentum, angular momentum, charge etc. So these are the basic conservations that you will study. A conservation law is a hypothesis. So what is a conservation law? It is a hypothesis based on the observation and experiments. So it is based on observation and different type of experiment. Again, it is important to remember that a conservation law cannot be proved. So we can only verify this with the help of different type of observation and experiments, but nobody can prove this law. It can be verified or disproved by experiments. So what we can do, we can verify these conservation laws with the experiments, but this cannot be proved because it is a hypothesis. An experiment whose result is in conformity with the law verifies or substantiate the law. So suppose if we do some experiment whose results are in conformity, that means in agreement. So this experiment confirms that results are valid. So what will happen? It verifies the law or substantiates, that means hold that law is true. It does not prove the law. So it will not prove the law, it only says that law is valid. On the other hand, a single experiment whose result goes against the law is enough to disprove it. Suppose if we find some experiment where we prove that this is not valid, that single law is enough. This single experiment is enough to disprove the law. So to maintain we need a large number of experiments, but even if we find a single experiment where the law is not validated, so we can disprove the law. It would be wrong to ask somebody to prove the law of conservation of energies because nobody can. This law is an outcome of our experience of several centuries. So we have seen these things or observed things for several centuries. An outcome is the conservation of energy, and it has been found to be valid in all experiments in mechanics, thermodynamics, electromagnetism, optics, atomic and nuclear physics or any other area. So this conservation of energy cannot be proved because this is an observation of centuries, but we have found that this law is valid in each and every area: mechanics, thermodynamics, electromagnetism, everywhere, optics or at anywhere. Some students feel that they can prove the conservation of mechanical energy from a body falling under a gravity. So students may feel that they are able to prove the conservation of mechanical energy by adding the kinetic and potential energies at a point and showing that it turns out to be constant as pointed out above. This is only a verification of law, not a proof. So this is very important. So when you say that the mechanical energy and kinetic energy remains constant at different points and you show that the addition remains constant, so this is only a verification, this is not a proof. This is not a proof of conservation of energy or conservation of a mechanical energy. So with this chapter is complete. Let us come out to the summary of this chapter. So what we have in summary? Physics deal with the study of basic laws of nature. So what is concerned area? Basic laws of nature and their manifestation. That means how do we those laws work in different situations, in different phenomena. The basic laws of physics are universal and applied in widely different contexts and conditions. So these laws are universal, that means these can be applied anywhere, as we have seen in the example of a falling apple, moon moving around the earth and earth moving around the sun. So these are universal. The scope of physics is wide, covering a tremendous range of magnitude of physical quantities. So we have seen length much smaller than the nuclear length, that means 10 to power minus 15 meter, to the length of observable universe. So the scope of physics is very wide and there is a wide range. Physics and technology are related to each other because once the physics is there, it gives rise to new technology. Sometimes technology gives rise to new physics. This is an exception that sometimes, only sometimes it happens, but most of the times physics comes first. Sometimes technology gives rise to new physics, at other times physics generates new technology. So most of the time physics generates new technology, but sometimes it might happen that new technology gives rise to new physics. Both have direct impact on the society. So physics changes this technology, which ultimately changes the society. There are four fundamental forces in nature that govern the diverse phenomena of the macroscopic and microscopic world. Again, macroscopic world, our daily life world, and microscopic world is world at the atomic or nuclear level. These forces are gravitational force, the electromagnetic force, the strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force. There were four forces: gravitational, electromagnetic, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. Unification of different forces domains in nature is a basic quest in physics. So what we try to do in physics, we try to always unify different type of domains. The physical quantities that remain unchanged in a process are called conserved quantity. So suppose we do some process and some physical quantities remain unchanged, then we call those quantities conserved quantities. Some of the general conservation laws in nature include laws of conservation of mass. So there is law of conservation of mass, energy, linear momentum, angular momentum, charge, parity, etc. So there are many conservation laws like conservation of mass, energy, linear momentum, angular momentum, charge. So definitely mass, energy, linear momentum, angular momentum and charge we will study. Some conservation laws are true for one fundamental force but not for other. So some of the conservation law can only be applied for some type of condition, one type of fundamental force, but cannot be valid for others. Conservation laws have a deep connection with symmetries of nature. So what are symmetry? That means you do some experiment today and you do the same experiment after 1 year, you get the same result. That is called symmetry. That means same thing you get. Symmetry means same. Symmetries of space and time. What is the symmetry of space, that means you do your experiment at your home and in the same conditions you do your experiment in your school, so you will get the same result. That is called symmetry of space. Symmetry of time, do the experiment today or do the experiment next year or after 1000 years, the fundamental law will remain same. And other types of symmetry play a central role in modern theories of fundamental forces of nature. So symmetries play an important role in physics. So with this chapter ends. Next we will start chapter 2.